Hi Verbling, my name is Michaela. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and today we're talking about sports vocabulary and idioms. And Lee, why don't you go ahead and do you know any sports idioms already or sports vocabulary that you want to share?
Um, Actually, I don't think I know any sport idiom, but I just know about the basketball, the volleyball. Uh,
Cool. Do
yes.
you play either of those sports?
Yes, I used to play basketball and volleyball when I was in high school and college.
Are you good?
Um, no, actually, no. My level is just beginner level.
I'm super bad at both. And everyone thinks that I would be good because I'm tall
Mhm.
and pretty athletic. Like I'm physically very active and capable, but I'm really bad at team sports. I feel like I do okay on individual stuff, but team sports are not my thing.
No, I don't think so. Because you just not practicing much. If you spend time to practice more, I think you'll be good.
Maybe that's true. Yeah, I guess if you practice hard enough and you really want to be good at something, then maybe you would be good.
Yes.
All right, thanks, Lee.
Well,
Danny, what kind of sports do you play, or are you interested in?
I just got you at the end. I think I agree with you. I don't like team sport. I like to do my sport whenever I want. I don't like to need to have some partner to do that. So it's the reason why I like to do martial art, thing like that, that I can practice by myself. Training just in a gym and thing like that, but no sport. All my family is really involved in hockey, so I'm the only one who don't even have skate.
Have you ever tried team sport, like to play with a team,
Only at school, only at school. So, and it's not
like
really my
soccer?
thing. I do soccer. I did soccer. I did a bit of basketball too. I'd like to try in the past football, American football, but I didn't have the chance to do that, and now I'm too old.
Oh, too old. I mean, I don't think being old is an issue, but I don't think American football, for me, it's not worth it. I think it's the worst. It's the worst one because the rules are so complex. It's like you can't even understand. You have to spend so long just trying to understand the rules.
Yeah, but I
I
think
don't
it's a really good sport for the health. It's all those guys are big, but really kind of flexible.
know. Uh-huh.
So I think I was kind of attracted by the sport because of this fact.
Makes sense. All right, thanks, Danny. Adela, do you prefer team sports or like individual kind of effort sports?
Individual. Time sport when I was younger on the school, secondary school. We have teams, no different teams, volleyball, etc. But nowadays I like to go skiing or ride my bike. Maybe individual sports.
Yeah, riding your bike is a wonderful one. That's a good example. All right. So let's start talking a little bit about collocations, just for a minute, because it's kind of important while we're talking about sports. So we have three main verbs that we use with sports. Do you guys know what they are? Shout them out. What are the verbs we use to talk about sports, like biking or soccer or martial
Play.
arts? Play, that's one. What's another one?
Go,
Go, sometimes, yeah. And one more.
do, maybe.
Yeah,
Practice.
yeah, practice too. That's a good one. So we'll put those in the chat box. What kind of sports would we use with play?
The ball sports use is a team and use a ball in the majority.
Yeah,
No?
they're usually team ball kind of sports. Lee, can you give us some examples of words we can use with play? Different sports that would go well with play?
I'm sorry, what do you mean?
Sports you can use with play. So play soccer, what else?
Play soccer, play volleyball, play basketball, play badminton, or play tennis.
Perfect. Excellent. How about Go? Danny, can you give us some sports we can use with Go, or describe for us which kind of activities we can collocate with the verb go? Danny, are you there?
Do you hear me?
Yeah, sorry. I don't know
Okay,
if it
no,
was...
so something weird on my screen, so I'm not sure I'm there. So, do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you
Okay.
now. We're looking for verbs to collocate with go, or activities.
Go dancing, if we say that it's a sport. I think we can use go with a lot of sport. It's just a different way to use the sentence. I think we can say, I want. Can I go tennis, or I want to go tennis? No.
No, actually, that would be more like a play kind of situation because it's a team sport with a ball. That's usually play. And they're not actually interchangeable. Usually if it's go, and if it's play, and there's not a lot of interchanging you can do. But what are some other things you can use with go? What else? Dancing is a really good one because go is more of an individual effort. So dancing, you can dance with a partner, but you can dance all by yourself too. What else can we do with go?
Can go golfing?
Yeah, golfing, yes. Excellent example. Anything else?
I don't have anything on my mind now.
All right. Gregor,
Skiing.
welcome to class.
Skiing.
Oh, yeah, Adele is skiing. What else?
Hi.
Sorry, my fault. Hi, Gregor. Welcome to class. Sorry, it took me a minute to see you because my screen's being funny. But can you give us any other sports we could collocate with go?
Hiking. Go hiking, maybe.
Yeah, what else?
I think, I'm not sure, go swimming? I heard.
Swimming. Awesome. Very cool. And the last one we have is, or the last one that we're going to go over is do. Adela, do you have any verbs that collocate with do?
To exercise.
Yeah.
In general.
Uh-huh. What else?
Do yoga.
Yeah. Yoga, that's a good one. All right. Gregor, do you have any others for this one?
How about do
do
martial art? Can we use
no.
What?
martial art? Can we do martial art?
Yeah. Martial arts would work well. And Gregor, I'm sorry, you keep getting talked over.
Sorry for that. I know I have no idea about do
Okay.
right now.
Good enough. So we've got go, do. Oh, Pilates is a good example. Do Pilates. So go will be for ing things in general, ing activities. Do will be for other kind of individual efforts, and play is for team sports and that kind of stuff. Okay. Questions on that before we go on?
No.
We could also do practice. We didn't really talk about practice. Practice is a little more general. We can interchange this one. So you can practice golfing and you can practice yoga. You can practice martial arts. You can practice soccer. You could almost use practice with anything. I would say it might be a little weird to say, you could say practice swimming too. You could say practice for almost anything. Yeah, that's an easy one. That's a freebie. Okay, let's get into the notes then. I'm going to screen share mine, and you guys can grab these on the class page as well. So we're going to look at some lists of vocabulary that are used in particular sports, and then I'm going to ask you guys to try to decide which sport it is we're talking about here. So the first one, let's have Adela read the list of vocabulary and try to name what sport you think it's talking about.
Touchdown. a quarterback, helmet, shoulder pack, maybe rugby.
I don't think so. Now, I'm not very familiar with rugby, but I think they don't wear shoulder pads.
Maybe football, American football.
I think it's American football, exactly. And yeah, some of the vocabulary will be similar because they're pretty similar sports, but this one is American football. Thanks, Adela. Danny, will you do the next one?
Yes. Serve, return, net, racket, court. It's probably tennis or badminton.
Yeah, for sure. Probably both would work there. Gregor, do the next one.
Diamond, glove, innings, bases, dugout, bases and glove. Baseball?
Yeah, definitely baseball. Thanks, Gregor. Question?
What diamonds means?
The diamond is the thing they play on. So when they run around to each of those 4 bases, it forms a shape that they call a diamond. It's really also, it could be called a square, but we don't call it that. We just call it the diamond.
Okay, the first time when I hear this word, even if I watched some movies about baseball, which weird. I don't know.
If you listen closely, you might find that they throw it in every once in a while. It's not a super, I mean, it's a common word to refer to it. It's the only name that it has, but it's not, it's kind of a subtle word. It's not like something that is a big feature of baseball. Usually they'll talk about the bases and all that other stuff. Lee, will you do the next line for us?
Dribble, backboard, repel, lay up, and slam dunk.
Yep. All right.
I don't know what is it.
You're not sure which sport it is?
No, I don't know.
I'll give you a hint. It's a team sport, and it uses a ball. And let me think. I don't want to give it away. Does anyone else think they have it?
Yes.
What is it?
Basketball.
Yeah, this one's basketball.
Oh, basketball.
So let's go over these vocabulary words. We just did 4 lines here. Do you guys have questions on any of these words? Are we not totally sure what any of them mean?
So what is it? What is layup?
Does anyone already know what a layup is?
I guess it's when someone tried to jump to the net, to the basket. I'm not sure.
Close. A slam dunk would be when they jump and they actually touch the net or the rim. A layup is where you go to make a shot. You're throwing it, so you're probably not going to be touching the actual net or rim of the hoop. But usually it's when you run down the court and you go to the right or left and throw from one of the sides. So it's not like a straight-on shot usually.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? What about dribbling? What is dribbling? Does anybody know what dribbling is?
It is like when you're going with this ball and you try to hit the ball with your hand and it's going back into your hand from the floor, so it's like you make those movements.
Yeah, it's a repeated action where your ball goes from your hand to the floor again and again and again, and you usually use it so that you can move, because of course in basketball you're not allowed to hold the ball, so the best way to move with it is to just keep it bouncing back and forth between your hand and the floor. Cool. All right, are we ready to move on to a few more?
Yes.
Cool. Back to Adela. Will you do this one?
Maybe bowling.
Sure. Read the words.
Sorry. Is bowling I don't.
So bowling is the correct sport, but will you read the list of words that I have highlighted?
Sorry. Gutter, strike, split, lane, finger holes.
Mm-hmm. So what's the gutter, Adela? Do you know?
What? Sorry?
The gutter, that first word. Do you know what part it plays in bowling?
Yes, is the in the you have a lane, and in the finally the line we have a good I don't know. The ball is possible that don't strike, don't. Uh, it's a bad.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yes, I don't.
You throw the ball too
I
far to
can
one side,
explain.
it falls into that little valley where it goes straight down
Yes,
and back, and you don't get any pins.
yes.
All right. What about finger holes? How do
It's
finger holes play into
in the
bowling?
bowl. In the bowling, you need to put the finger inside to throw the ball, the big ball.
Yeah, exactly. Those things are heavy. Do you know what weight you take for a bowling ball, Adela?
I play or I go bowling sometimes, but not the normal. But with friends, go out to bowling. But I don't. I'm a bad player.
Yeah, honestly, I like to bowl, but I'm pretty bad too.
It's difficult to strike to do a
Yeah,
strike. Yes,
yeah. It's also one of those things where you need to practice a lot, I think.
yes.
Danny, have you ever been bowling?
Yes, when I was really younger, I'm supposed to go back with the family, but it's not one of my favorite activity.
Why not?
I don't know. It's strange, but I don't like the shoes and the smell.
Oh, I could see that. That makes sense. The shoes are not the nicest part. I mostly like that it's kind of funny and it's usually got cheap beer, so it's like it's not that expensive. You can hang around and have some fun and drink some
Yeah,
beer and very social, even though I'm a terrible bowler.
yeah. I think my problem is more because I have strange feet, really wide. So I always worried to didn't have some shoes gonna fit. So
Yeah, that's difficult. All right. How about Gregor? Have you ever been bowling?
Oh yes, I think I like bowling. But I have played it just a few times, but I like it. I we bet, we bet in the bowling game. It's just like a fun bet, but it's pretty fun.
Gives you a little more motivation, huh?
Yes, yeah.
That sounds really cool, Lee. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Gregor, have you ever been bowling?
No. Actually, I'm not really a sport
Never?
person. No, never. There is no place in my town because it's a small town, so never really attended. And now I don't know in the city that I live now because I'm in the UK. I don't know if there is a place where I can bowl.
You don't really care about it.
Actually, I do some sports in the past, but it was 15 years ago. It wasn't really a sports. It was more like martial arts. I was like some sport events, so I take a part in some sport events, but I was horrible because I want to do practice judo. I mean, my trainer want to see me to practice judo, and I want to practice jiu-jitsu and make other couple of other things during that time. But I quit everything immediately after I don't know after above 3 years. So that's my only experience in sports.
The nice thing about bowling, though, is you don't really have to. I don't think you have to be like really talented or in really good shape or anything to enjoy it. So it's like I think you can get something out of it even if Even if you're really bad.
Probably. I never tried. Maybe I would try.
All right, let me know if you do. The next list is for Danny. Will you read that and tell us what sport it belongs to?
Ring, mouth guard, jab, KO. Can be box, kickboxing. We can almost name some martial arts too.
Yeah, it could apply to several different things. Do you know what KO stands for?
Yes. I saw one just a few days ago against Ronda Rousey.
I still haven't seen that. I really want to. I'm sure it's like very dramatic.
Yeah. So it's I don't remember, not an idioms, an acronym for knockout.
Yes, exactly. Knockout. Cool. Thank you, Danny. Gregor, will you read the next line and tell us what sport it goes with?
Cue, pocket, table, chalk, rack. Table. Billiard?
Yeah, you could call it billiards or pool.
Billiard.
I think billiards is the British word and pool is the more American word, though I've heard both of them, so there's a little crossover. What do you use chalk for, Gregor? Do you know what the chalk is used for?
I know what is rack, but chalk, I don't know. I have no idea.
What do you use the rack for?
Rack for, it's like this triangle.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. The chalk could be the stick that people use it. I'm not sure.
Not actually. It's something else. You're right about the rack. Lee, any idea what the chalk is used for in billiards or pool?
Chalk.
Yep, chalk.
Chalk. I just know the normal meaning of chalk. You use it to draw in a board.
Yeah, definitely. This is the same kind of chalk. It's made of the same stuff, but it's used for something a little special when we're talking about pool. It's not like the normal kind that comes in a stick for you to write with. It comes in a little square, and you do something with it. Adela, any idea what you use chalk for when you're playing pool?
We use chalk in the blackboard on the school, but for this sport is to put in the finally to put the ball. Is I don't know. Is the end of the on the stick or
Yeah. You put it on the end of the cue, right? The cue is the
yes.
thing you use to hit the ball. And to give it a little
Okay.
more friction, you put the chalk on. You're exactly right, Adela.
Yes, to put the ball. So is that
Awesome. Thanks. Lee, will you read the next set and tell us what sport they collocate with?
Okay. Green, par, swing, tee, and putter. Actually, I don't know. I just guess maybe it's golfing.
Excellent guess. It is golfing. Well done.
Yeah. But I don't know. Swing. What is swing for?
Good question. Gregor, do you know the answer? What is a swing in golf?
Swing is the proper name for this movement that we do with this our stick when we try to hit the ball, I guess.
Yeah, you've got your club, and when you want to hit the golf ball, you bring it back, and then you hit the golf ball with force, and you kind of create a motion that we call the swing.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is the golf popular in the US among just the normal people who don't who are not rich? Oh.
Well, that's hard to answer. I wouldn't know because I don't play golf. However, I will say that golf is relatively expensive, and I have heard that it's mostly a business relationship kind of thing. So if you're a business person, you might learn to play golf so that you can invite other people to play golf, and then you make contacts that way, or instead of inviting someone out to, I don't know, if you're trying to get them as, like, you need them for something, you need them to do something, buy something, or whatever, you invite them out to golf. It's supposed to be like a classy way for you to make business connections. I'm not really part of that world, so it's kind of hard for me to answer. But I think that's mostly what it's used for. It's used for like business and for rich people or people who are retired and have lots of time to practice very boring sports like
Yeah,
golf.
I think so. It's boring because it's not actually a sport. The people just walk around, and sometimes I saw some car. It's not a car, but some car moving around the golf course, and actually the player not exactly walking or running. They're moving around with a car. Yeah, so I don't think it's a sport.
That's true. There's not a lot of exercise involved.
Mm.
Danny, do you think it's a sport?
Not
Danny?
not really,
Why not?
because like bowling and all those type of thing, it's more an activity than a sport. So I think
So what makes
sport
it a
involves
sport instead of an activity?
effort, a little bit of effort. But it's my conception of sport.
All right, fair enough. Gregor, do you think it's a sport?
It could be considered as a sport. I don't know how big is how big the field could be, and maybe in some cases you just want to carry a gear instead of just driving around the field. So it could be considered as a sport. I don't have too many objections about it because it's like one of those discussions about martial arts. It is still a martial arts or it is a sport if we accept some rules. So it's another topic of to the discussion, but there's not too much sense. I think it's a sport if you need to walk around.
All right, thanks, Gregor. Adela, you get the last word. Do you think golf is a real sport or not exactly?
Maybe it's a good sport for older people. Maybe when I was retired, I play. I go to the go golfing.
Yeah, definitely. When you have plenty of time to mess
Yeah,
around with that, and it doesn't. That's what the one nice thing also is that it's not difficult like. With basketball, you have to be in really good shape, and you have to, if you get injured, you can't play basketball anymore. I feel like golf is a gentle sort of sport. All right.
Well,
Our next. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, I mean, when I look at some things that people try to do to hit the ball and they put some obstacles on the way to this hole, it looks like it need to be really precise about what you are doing to win something in this game.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely,
So,
you have to concentrate.
so it is like it still requires some skills to hit correctly.
Yeah, skills for sure. All right, Adela, will you read the next list for us?
yes, lap, the pit, crash, checkered flag. I think it's F1, maybe.
Yeah, totally. Some kind of racing sport for sure. What do they use? What do they use the checkered flag for?
For start, when finish, I think maybe each one finish a lap, no?
Uh-huh. So what is a lap exactly?
To when a lap is the totally way pilot need to drive, and they repeat.
Mm-hmm. So it's like one
The,
total
the
round.
number,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, is the totally way, but they repeat a lot. A laps is depend to the place. I think the circuit. I don't
Yeah.
know exactly.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any idea what the pit is?
maybe the place where pilots change the wheels or put the fuel, no, the petrol to.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Exactly. Thank you, Adela. All right, next up, Danny, read those.
Yes, it's sorry, I didn't see. Wetsuit, mask, flippers, air tank. Just a question. Wetsuit is the way to write it?
Oh, I think there's a.
And it's probably scuba diving.
Yeah, I think it should be like this.
Yeah, I think so.
Good catch. So
Scuba
I think
diving.
these are all pretty. Yeah, exactly. Scuba diving. Have you ever been scuba diving?
I tried a few times, always when I'm in vacation, but not more than that.
Like full-on scuba diving or more like snorkeling?
I tried both. Just one time, I think, scuba diving, but I know that I did that because they have always a free trial in the south, but
cool.
It's not my big thing. I prefer the one only. What the other one? Sorry, that you just mentioned.
Snorkeling.
I prefer snorkeling. You are a little bit more. You can do whatever you want. Scuba diving, it's really heavy and harder. I'm not a good swimmer, so.
Yeah, you have to be much more prepared with all that equipment, and usually it's more expensive, but it's rewarding too, I hear. I've never been.
It's really fun.
Very cool. Thanks, Danny. Gregor, will you read the next
one? Stroke, trunks, freestyle, the deep end. I don't know, to be honest. Resting? No.
Did you say resting?
Resting.
No, not resting. Or wrestling? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Wrestling?
Yes.
No, not wrestling.
I'm not.
The deep end? What do you think that's referring to? Where might you find a shallow end and a deep end?
Shallow and deep ends. I have no idea, sorry.
Anyone else have an idea what this sport is we're talking about here?
It's probably swimming.
Yeah, so explain to us a couple of those. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. So the vocabulary, I don't know. So trunks, it's type of cloth. It's like a pants.
Yeah.
Freestyle, it's the way how we do it. The deep end, I think it will be the description of the finish line. I don't know what is stroke.
Anyone want to describe a stroke? It's kind of a tough word to describe, but I'll probably give you an
I think the stroke is the movement that you do with your arm to propulse you to the end of the pool.
Exactly. So I will give you a quick example. One stroke would be when you go all the way over like this or all the way back like this. That's a stroke. Okay. And you can also use it to refer to a kind of stroke, like there's the butterfly stroke and the breaststroke and the backstroke. So backstroke would be like this, breaststroke would be like this.
And okay. If you didn't train enough and you do too much activity, you're going to have a stroke.
Yes, exactly. Gregor, do you do a lot of swimming?
I can swim on the swimming pool, even it's 4 meters, 5 meters. But actually, I'm too afraid to swim in the places like lake or if it's outside. I mean, without somebody who is observing me. It's kind of I can swim, no problem. But when there's like a lake or something similar, I'm just afraid to do it.
Yeah, I've always been a little afraid of ocean swimming, but lake swimming is fun. All right. Lee, will you do the last set for us? This one here.
Yeah, sure. Net, table, paddle, and stuff. I think it's tennis.
What kind of tennis? You're kind of right.
It's how to say it? It's like a table tennis.
Yes, exactly. So there's table tennis, which is also known as ping pong.
Yeah.
I hear it more frequently called ping pong, but that might be a regional thing. Table tennis is just as good, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, Lee, what does the paddle do?
Paddles is the tool you use it to hit the ball back and forth with your opponent.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. All right. And do you play ping pong ever, Lee?
Yes, I played it when I was in high school.
Awesome. I think ping pong's really fun. It's like a good social kind of silly thing. You don't have to. I don't think there's a lot of stress involved in ping pong.
Mm-hmm.
It's a friendly sport. All right. So, do you guys have any other comments or questions on these? I put a big long list of other sports in the chat box, and I'll put it in the Google chat box as well. I want you guys to pick one and create a list of vocabulary for it. So, for instance, if you picked, let's see, how about volleyball? If you picked volleyball, you'd have to tell me where you do it, what you need to do it with, if there's like uniform involved or equipment or anything else. So maybe try to get at least between 4 and 8 words that you would need to play one of those sports or to do one of those sports. And whenever you're ready, you can put it in the chat box.
We can choose anyone? Or no?
Yeah, anyone you like. Cool. Ooh, you guys picked good ones. All right, so riding, you need a bike, a helmet, brakes, handlebar, and pedals. Yeah, totally.
And gloves and culotte.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my gosh, I ride my bike a lot, and it just got really cold here, and I started using my riding gloves. And I'm so mad because I washed all my clothes the other day, and one of my gloves went missing, and now I only have one glove, and it's the winter, and I'm cold. Thanks, Adela. Great list for bike riding. Next one I see, archery, totally cool. Arrow, bow, target, gloves, concentration. Yeah, Danny, have you ever been shooting?
Yes, a few times, but I'm really bad.
Yeah, I think it takes a lot of practice. It seems like you have to be talented. I don't know. It takes a lot of concentration. You're right.
and you have to be so steady. It's kind of, I always kind of shake a little bit, and but it's fun.
Did you go after watching the Hunger Games? Were you inspired by the Hunger Games?
No, not really, but I'm inspired by On the Hunger Game for the words.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, Judo. You need a kimono. When you say kimono, I think here at least we call it a gi. So I know kimono is what they call it in a lot of other languages. And it might not, it's probably a good, correct word, but I've always heard it as gi, which I think is just G-I, like this. I'm not positive. I don't know if I've seen it written, but dojo, throwing techniques.
Yes.
Tatami, mat. Ooh, so where are you getting all these vocab words? Because I've never heard the word tatami either. I've obviously heard the word mat, but I've never heard tatami.
Because well, I was there, so I know some of this vocabulary. Now they even teach me how to count to 10 in Japanese.
Ah, cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks, Gregor. And the last one, yoga. Outstretch, lie down, raise, keep, prone position, sit cross-legged, and relax. Those are some excellent vocabulary words that go well with yoga. So, when you say keep, what do you mean? Like, hold a position?
Yes. For example, when you're in a position, you're gonna hold it for 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Do you do a lot of yoga, Lee?
In the past, when I was in middle school and high school, I did yoga. Right now, just sometimes, not often.
Very cool. It seems like, I think it would be a really good winter sport because you can do it inside and you don't need that much space.
It. Yeah, I'm planning to do it at home with a videotape.
Oh, great idea.
Open the video and practice according to the video.
Very cool. Ooh, we got one more. So for windsurfing, you need wind, a board, swimming dress, like swimsuit, sunblock. What's neoprene? Neoprene?
This is a dress to don't have because the water is cold. It's a type of tissue. It's as a rubber.
Is it like a brand?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
I've heard it called a wetsuit before, which is something was in the previous vocabulary. A wetsuit is it's like a full body swimsuit. Is that what you mean? Is that what neoprene is?
Neoprene, yes, neoprene is a wetsuit, can be wetsuit, but it's special. It's a maybe a same a rubber, I think.
Cool. Awesome, guys. Thank you. So we have a list of idioms now that have to do with sports, and there's a few sports you'll see repeated, but these are idioms we use in everyday language, and we don't really think about the sports when we say them, but they relate back to sports historically. So we're going to read through them and decide which sports they refer to. Number one, I'm going to start on the opposite side this time. Lee, will you start for us? Read that one and then decide which sport you think this idiom refers to.
Sure. When none of the top directors went for the job, some of the lower level managers decided to throw their hats into the ring.
So what do you think? What sport?
Is it football?
I don't think so, because football doesn't use a ring. Does anyone know what sports use a ring?
Boxing, maybe?
Boxing, yeah. I think that's Right, I think boxing would make sense for this one. And I think it's something they used to do, like, as a challenge. You throw your hat into the ring. I think you're right, Adela. All right. Gregor, will you do number 2?
Yes, it won't make a huge profit, but it should help us keep our heads above water. So it will be swimming, if we talk to which sport is this related. Keep above the water, so it should help us in this case.
Yeah, definitely. If your head's not above water, you've got a big problem, right?
Yes.
All right, thank you, Gregor. Danny, will you do number 3?
The company is on the ropes, but there is hope that someone will buy them out and rescue them.
Mm-hmm.
On the ropes, for me, it's probably boxing too, because when you are really in difficulty, you are on the ropes of the ring.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So if you're on the ropes, it's not a very good situation because it means your back's against the farthest part. You can't really go much farther, so you don't have a lot of options. Okay. Adela?
I thought I knew something about management, but being put in charge of a whole department makes me feel out of my depth. Maybe a scuba dive, my depth.
Yeah, definitely. Scuba diving. Perfect. All right. Lee, back to you.
He gives a lot of useful advice, but he doesn't pull his punches. So don't be offended if you ask him about your project.
What do you think? What sport? Pull his punches.
Pull his punches. I don't know.
Anyone else got a guess here?
Can be boxing or any type of fighting sport.
Yeah, anything that involves punching, but probably boxing because boxing is pretty heavily related to punching. So what does it mean to pull your punches? Anyone? No.
It's probably he didn't show his I would say weapon. So in that thing, it's probably that he didn't show his skill or what he can do.
Yes, yes. I'll give you guys a quick example because I think a visual will help more than anything. But you can say to throw a punch, which would mean to punch someone, right? But if you're going to pull your punch, it means you throw a punch, but not with all your force. So at the very last second, you kind of pull back a little bit so you don't hurt the person. It's something you would use in sparring, or if you're not actually intending to hurt the person, you might pull your punch, like you throw it, but then you pull back really quick so it doesn't actually impact the person with a lot of force. Okay, back to this. Next up, Gregor, number 6.
They are only a small company, but their connection to famous researchers means that they can punch above their weight. So it could be another comparison to the boxing or similar sports. But their connection means that they can punch above the. So they can do a better connection, I think, that they can cooperate with the bigger companies.
Yeah. So it's a good thing. It means like you're more powerful than your size, basically. You can punch above your weight means you can fight with the big boys even if that's like larger than yourself. So you've got skill or talent, or it's a good thing.
Or maybe you are overweight and they just simply tell you you go to this category because your weight is above 1 kilo than in the category that you actually should be because it happened in sports.
Yeah, totally. Thanks, Gregor. Danny, will you do this one?
Yeah. The teacher was going to ask me to give my presentation next, but I was saved by the bell. So it can be boxing also and all kind of MMA thing.
Mm-hmm. And what's the bell represent?
It's the end of a round.
Yeah, exactly. So I know this is a little repetitive, but we have actually a lot of boxing references in our language, which is funny because it's not a super popular sport anymore, but it was like really popular for a period of time, so you can still see a lot of it in the language that we use every day.
Just a question about boxing. In the past, there was I read some articles, and one of the information was I don't know if you probably were a kid, but one of the information that in the 90s the kickboxing was really popular in the United States. If it's true or not?
Well, yes, I would say that it was. And I was a kid during the 90s, but I remember that I went to a Girl Scout kickboxing camp. Like, I remember it being a really cool thing, and I was really into it, you know, when I was 10 years old or whatever. And it's not something that you see very much anymore. It still exists, but it's not popular like I remember it being when I was a kid.
Yes, in Canada it was really popular. I do some kickboxing, and I did some kickboxing, and I have a few of my friends who became champion. So it was really popular. But now all the MMA thing take the place of the kickboxing. It's more MMA is more complete.
Mm-hmm. They kind of trend through. Maybe in 10 years there will be some other kind of sport that took the place of MMA.
I think that the kickboxing is the Western thing for Muay Thai in other country.
Which Muay Thai is much more complete because it's just a martial arts, and here there are many limitations. I didn't practice myself, but I watched a lot and I know what is in there or what's not.
Mm-hmm. All right. Adela, will you read number 8?
The two main political parties are neck and neck going to the last week before the election. I don't know what is meaning neck and neck. Yes, I know the translator, but I don't relate with sport.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird one. Anyone have an idea what it might mean?
Neck in neck so means like two political parties they have a chance to win the election, and we don't know which one of them win because if you're observing the results of the election, they are changing constantly. So you can be surprised that the next day the leader just lost.
Yeah. So what does neck and neck mean then?
It's like a description of the situation when we don't know which one of them is going to win. So it is describing the last. Okay, go ahead. Maybe you finish it.
Adele?
No, I'm thinking. Can be, for example, a horse race or.
Yes. So it does relate to racing in general, but horse racing specifically. And neck, of course, would be if they're tied and it's unclear who's going to be the winner of the race or the loser of the race. And neck just means their necks are at the same spot, so you can't really tell who's going to win.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
I think we're back to Lee. Will you do number 9?
Sure. I don't like him either, but mentioning his personal problems was hitting below the belt. So, I'm not sure about that, but I just guess hitting below the belt is mean I think it hurts when some people hit me below the belt. So I think it's some of it kind of very angry when the people mention about his personal problem. It means they don't like to talk about that too.
Mm-hmm. So it's like a personal kind of injury. Not super fair. Thank you, Lee. Let's try and get the rest of these finished. We have to close up class pretty quickly, but Gregor, will you read number 10?
Yes. The CEO hasn't even retired yet, but already everyone is jockeying into position for this job. For his job. Jockeying, it is probably about horse races.
Yeah.
But everyone is jockeying for his job. So people just make efforts to be on his place. They're trying really hard to replace him.
Exactly. Thanks, Gregor. Danny, will you do number 11?
I'm still not confident about my presentation, so it's good to know that I have you in my corner. So it's still boxing, and if I can count on you, kind of.
Exactly. Thanks, Danny. Adela, will you do the last one?
Yes, after failing 3 interviews, I decided to throw in the towel. Is boxing too.
Yep. So what do they use the towel for?
When one of them need to win, but the other is not win because they I don't know the word. Throw the towel.
The towel is like when you're wiping the sweat off your face, and when you're totally finished, you throw that towel on the floor because it's gross and dirty. So it's like they're finished.
They are
All
tired.
right. So yeah, I've got to close this class up because I have a private class coming up. But thank you guys for coming and joining. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. You guys had some interesting perspectives. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
I'll see you again soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.